Hello everybody, my name is Dr. Adesola Ashade. I'm a dentist and I'm also a specialist in orthodontics. And today I'm going to be talking to you about bruxism, especially sleep-related bruxism. I'm going to start with a story. I'm going to talk about a young lady who came into the clinic complaining of pain from her jaws, and she noticed that usually she experienced this pain in the morning when she wakes up in the morning, and a lot of times the pain was around her muscles, around her chin, and also around her TMJ. She also noticed that after some time she began to develop sensitivity on her teeth, and also she noticed that it appeared as though her teeth were getting smaller than normal. Now what she didn't know was that she was a bruxist, and basically that's what we're going to be talking about today. So I'm going to be talking more about bruxism in children, and that's because a lot of times it starts from when they're children, and the incidence is actually more in children, and as they grow older the incidence tends to drop, and a lot of times, sometimes by the time they're adults they've stopped bruxing, but sometimes they actually continue on as adults. So what exactly is bruxism? Bruxism is more or less defined very simply as the grinding of your teeth together or the clenching of your teeth. So when you hear someone doing their mouth is closed, but you can hear them making a sound with their teeth, almost like their teeth are grinding against one another. That's actually what bruxism is. And it's usually, like I said, starts when they're children, and the prevalence in children is probably about 15%. So if you have a child that is bruxing, no need to get worried or something is wrong with my child. It's relative. I want not too common, but I mean your child is not alone, and there is something that can be done about it. What do you have to look out for? The other thing I wanted to say also is that a lot of times it's hereditary. So that means that if there's someone in the family that is a bruxist, very likely that's where your child got it from. So it's not anything out of the blue. So what do you want to look out for in terms of how you know that, okay, my child is a bruxist? So I think the biggest thing would be that you would hear those grinding noises in the night. Sometimes they're so loud and they can be irritating, and a lot of times they can actually wake up whoever is sleeping beside the child, and sometimes if it's really severe it can wake up the child themselves. So basically, if you're looking out for to hear like a grating noise, just like you can just hear from the person's mouth, like they're rubbing against each other, and it sounds like a grating noise, that would be like the biggest thing that you'll be looking out for, to be able to identify that, oh, maybe my child is a bruxist. So look out for that. So like I said, unless you're like sleeping in the same room with the child, you may not necessarily know, but if you are and you can hear it, then you can pick it up. Sometimes the children brux during the day, but usually it's at night and it's like an unconscious thing. The other thing you would be looking out for is, does your child wake up in the morning and is complaining of pain around the jaws? So if your child wakes up in the morning and complains, oh, my mommy, my jaws just keep hurting, then it's possible that they may be bruxing. You might also want to look out for if they're having sensitivity on their teeth. Now what happens with bruxism is that, let me use another example. You have two really rough stones, and you keep rubbing them against each other. Eventually those stones are going to become smooth and they wear away. And so what happens with bruxism is that when those teeth are grinding against each other, they wear each other away, and there are various consequences to this. And one of the consequences, of course, is that it exposes the top layer of the tooth, the bottom layer more like. The top layer is worn away. The bottom layer, which is sensitive, is exposed. And so what you might notice is, if your child drinks like cold water, they say, oh, I have like a shocking sensation. Or if they're outside and it's windy and it's a cold kind of breeze, they have like a shocking sensation. Now don't get me wrong, there are other things that can cause this shocking sensation, but I'm just trying to give you some of the things that you can, some of the effects that you can observe from bruxism. So basically they may complain that they are having that shocking sensation, which is sensitivity, and that has occurred because over time the top layer of the tooth, the enamel, has been worn away and the inner parts are becoming exposed, right? So that's another thing that you may observe. Another thing they may complain of is headaches. So you may have headaches. So I mean, basically, why are you having jaw pain? Why are you having headaches? It's because ideally, you know, when you're sleeping, your jaw should be at rest, like your whole body is resting, but it's almost like a form of exercise. You know how you exercise, and after exercising you can feel some aches and pains around on your body. It's the same way with bruxism. Imagine that throughout the night it's like your jaws are exercising. Something is going to give, and what happens is that's why you wake up in the morning, you're having tenderness around your muscles or around your jaws, you're having a headache. It's just because those jaws and those muscles have been working when they should actually have been resting. So like I said, another thing you might want to ask about is are they complaining of constant headaches? So that's another thing. I would say it again, that there are a lot of things that can cause headaches. I'm just trying to give you some of the symptoms that you may observe from bruxism. The other thing is, does your child complain of like a locked jaw, or limited mouth opening? So if you notice that, especially sometimes in the morning, this child that can open their mouth so wide, they are unable to. It's difficult for them to open as wide as they normally can, and in some severe cases, you know, they can't even open at all. Then you may want to begin to wonder, is this child by any chance a bruxist? You know, so those are the things that you want to look out for. Other things you can look out for, you can look out for sore gums. The gums may also be sore. Another key point that I want you to look out for, I want you to look out for the size of the teeth. So have you noticed that maybe the size of the teeth have reduced, right? Now the thing about it is, with bruxism, you would notice that it is both upper and lower, because like I said, the teeth are grinding against each other. And if you look at it, you would see that the size of those teeth, like if you see my teeth, they are like full. Sometimes it's almost like half, and that's a really severe case, you know, like half of the tooth structure is gone. I mean, that one you need to be concerned about. So look at it. You feel as if, oh, my child's teeth never used to be this small, but all of a sudden they are now so little. You know, that's like another sign of bruxism. I mean, in some children, bruxism can be really severe, so every night they're bruxing. In some other children, maybe it's every other night, you know, but whichever case it is, some of these symptoms, just look out for those symptoms. So I'll say them again. Are they complaining of jaw pain? Are they complaining of muscle pain around the jaws? Are they complaining of inability to open their mouth fully? Are they having headaches? Are they having sore gums? Are their teeth sensitive? Do their teeth look smaller than they should? These are all the things that I would like you to look out for with your children. And the biggest one, of course, like I said, can you hear that grinding noise in the nights when they're sleeping? You can just hear it, like they're grinding their teeth against each other. Can you hear that? If you can hear that, then you definitely want to begin to suspect that this child is bruxing. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about what might be the cause of bruxism. I mean, of course, varied number of causes, but I would say that one of the biggest things may be stress. And I know you would say, stress in a small child, but the honest truth is that they may be experiencing stress from school in terms of trying to keep up with their grades. Now, one of the things that research has found out is that a lot of times these children that are really driven, tend to brux more than children that are more laissez-faire. So if your child is really like motivated, I want to be the best, I want to get A stars, that may be a cause, because you know, like I said, even at night they're supposed to be sleeping and resting, but they're still processing, how they're going to do better in school, that kind of thing. So sometimes the stress of that schoolwork and just that wanting to excel can cause bruxism. Anxiety as well can be a cause of bruxism. Of course, sometimes that stress comes from home. What are they going through? Is something happening at home that is making them unhappy? You know, these are some of the things that may be causing them to Brox, and definitely they should not be overlooked. Other causes may also, you find that children that are developmentally challenged or special needs may also Brox as well. So those are the other things that can cause bruxism. There are a lot of things, like I said, but I would say that probably the biggest thing will be if you're looking at their stress levels, whatever it is that may be stressing them, or anxiety. You may want to look at that. Those are some of the things that may be causing it. In terms of solutions, in terms of what can be done, I would say first and foremost, if you suspect that your child is a bruxist, I would definitely advise that you go and see your doctor. The reason is because if there is an underlying cause, sort of like stress or anxiety, they would want to discover what that cause is, or if there's another underlying cause that has to do with medication or any kind of disease, then the doctor is going to investigate that and find out whatever that underlying cause is. So I would say, if you suspect this, I would say definitely go and visit your doctor. We come in when there are issues with the teeth, so that's when the dentist comes in. Like if when you see the doctor, or you've decided that, oh my child's teeth are wearing away, then we come in. We'll be coming in to solve things such as the sensitivity, sometimes pain. We'll be coming in to restore the structure of the teeth in order for the children to be able to function normally again. When I say function normally again, I mean to be able to eat and chew normally, because if they're having pain from the fact that their tooth surfaces are worn away, then it's difficult for them to eat, and that goes on to have other effects. So we'll be coming in to sort of like restore the teeth to relieve any kind of pain that they're having. The other place that we come in is that sometimes we give an appliance that they can wear at night. So usually we just call it like a mouth guard. So it's like made of soft plastic. They wear it in their top and bottom jaws, just to prevent the teeth from grinding against each other. If they're going to grind, they'll be grinding against the plastic. So usually we can do that as well, just to prevents them from wearing away their teeth further. So those are, I don't want to go too much into saying, okay, this is what we're going to do or not going to do, but I think for me, the important thing that you take away from this talk is the signs, or rather the symptoms, in terms of the biggest thing, like I said, is that can you hear those noises in the night? Can you see signs of wearing away of the tooth structure? Are they complaining of pain? Are they complaining of headaches? Look out for those things, and if you notice any of those things, then what you want to do, like I said, is to the doctor. If a doctor needs to refer you to the dentist, then they will. But I'll say it again, don't worry. I mean, it's something that can be solved. Probably one of the biggest most irritating aspects is just that noise. But then again, also, if it begins to affect the tooth structure, then that's a big problem. But I'll say it again, that it can be solved. So don't worry about it, and just ask the pediatricians. Thank you for listening, and have a good day. Bye bye.